sana mzee Jerusalem. So at least you have covered some of the issues on operating finance for water management. There was very good coverage on the issue of sources of funds. But again, you need to know what you are going to make the funds for. Why do you need the funds? Sometimes that of funds and you don't know. So some quick reactions to John Saleh's presentation. Okay, so please,
so, thank you, my African brother. Yes, this is my African brother. Yes, the very good question that I think we were supposed to discuss here, and I think you raised it, you asked how many civil servants, how many NGOs, how many are coming from Europe. Now I'm also asking how many are coming from Canada? No. How many are coming? So you can now see, always we are coming to very important seminars like this one, where we need all these experts and technocrats and the people from the conservation authorities to join, and we have a common understanding because our interest is one, conservation. But they are not here. Tawili are not here. How many are coming from Tawili? No. So now we are going to talk here. We are going to bring some important ideas. But the leaders who are supposed to pick on this and internalize and invite us again to another important workshop for deliberations, that brings a very message. So, instead of saying who is paying for conservation, we should now start who are really the conservators in the country.
There's something good observation. Everybody else in the action.
Good morning, everyone. It's not really a reaction, but because I come from human security, I also want to add a question that who is incurring the cost of conservation? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Who is paying for conservation, but also who is incurring the cost of conservation?
Thank you, Chair. And also want to answer the presentation. Looking at the slide that shows ways that can be used to strengthen our financing base, which is very lucrative. But I wanted you to perhaps expand a bit on why we are not seizing those opportunities that seem to be very obvious. And we are doing that, we are not seizing them country-wise, even continental-wise. So can you a bit explain to me why this is so?
So we have a lot of resources. Why are we seizing those opportunities? So I take it back to John Saleh for coming.
During the time, today I did go by Nature Tanzania Hackathon. I've several, some of them are small, some of them are bigger. At Nature Tanzania, I was requested by Birdlife International to initiate the formation of a Tanzanian group that would sooner or later become partners to Birdlife International network. Birdlife International is a network of NGOs globally. And in Tanzania, it used to be WCST, for those who know it, but I think it worked out very well, so we started a very well-focused NGO of birds. So we started what's known as Nature Tanzania. Single-handedly, I volunteered for the first 2 years until we got registered. We had very good volunteers, and the ones who started Nature Tanzania, I'm very happy that one of them is around. The secretary, honorary secretary to Nature Tanzania, please, if you can stand up and wait. He is also an executive secretary of Tanzania Association of Tour Operators. And the treasurer, I hope the very probably is Kamela, is the treasurer. So we started working together, and 8 of us managed to form Nature Tanzania. It's more than 8 years ago. And since then, we've grown. So if you really put that arrow into me, I have seized that opportunity. We have projects in Sambara funded by USAID, we have projects funded by the German NGO partner, NABU. We have projects in Meatu, where we are working with traditional healers. They use brains from vultures to make their traditional sort of things. We are working with them to at least get an alternative and have the vultures bounce back from 5%, even if up to 5%. We have projects in Central Tanzania. We have a project, crown crane project, way out there in Kierwa. Kierwa is close to Rwanda. So that's a small NGO known as Nature Tanzania. We started 8 founder members, now more than 400 plus. So that question of yours, let's seize that opportunity. Let's come together. We're using birds as flagship. If you have no vegetation at all, very few birds are going to visit you. If you have good vegetation like Mweka, you can resist the cold weather, then they'll be around. For those who have been to my place, I was given a plot back in 1986. 3-acre plot in Arusha. Only sisal. Nothing else. But you put some vegetation now, we have more than 40, 50 bird species making noise the whole day long. Some of them are things who have come every October. I pose this as a challenge to wildlife. I was looking to, I think it was my African brother. Yes. But we have Tanzania Association of Foresters. I'm one of the chairs of the Board of Trustees. We started way back in 1976. It's still up and running with NGMs and advocacy. There is a Tanzania Association of Medical, MAT. The engineers have got their association. Tour operators, they have their association. Wildlifers, where are we? Because if you have a strong association, wildlife association, you can actually help the government to drive its agenda. Yes. The Tanzania Association of Foresters stood strong until that fellow was reinstated. But today, you know it very well. We have some wildlifers who are being slaughtered daylight. When I say slaughtered, I mean killing the bush. They are removed from what they have been doing well just because they are honest. And there's nobody who can say, no, hey, there's something wrong. Seizing an opportunity with the wildlife, who is a focal person for birds? If you walk into Tawa, not Kansha, if you walk into Kanaka, who's the focal person for birds? Because they just fly, they just come and go. And our projects are trying to bring this mind back to us, that indeed there is a great opportunity globally that we can actually tap into. So yes, join the club. As the founder of Nature Tanzania, I invite you to join us. It's only 30,000 shillings per year. And that money does not buy stationaries, pens, or allowances. It runs a project in Sambara for training for biodiversity monitoring using birds. We've now done the 5th training which we did last week. And there are people who are either coming from Mweka, Kanapa, and all those institutions mentioned. We're just doing that as an organization. So your membership fee does not go to, it goes for training, and those people go out and spread the word. Then we have annual general meetings where we discuss a lot of things, and some more projects are coming. So, people from government, especially the ministry, there's so much money in it. What is that money? There is Tanzania Heritage has his own company. And there is one Muzungu with his family who came to see one of the birds in Usambara, in Delhi, which is known as Usambara forest warbler. Yeah, but it's very little kolokolo mrefu. And he said to this guy, if you show me that bird, I'm going to add to you how much? Yes. $5,000 in addition to all the cost paid for. And those boys knew where the birds are. So they went out the first day, the second day, the third day, and the next day they have missed them. But the boys knew exactly where the birds are. So the day when they were about to leave, they took them through that road. They said, there it is. And for the first time, Tanzania has now discovered a nest for this bird. It had never been seen before. So there are many opportunities in birding. And this guy was just a volunteer. He went to Kenya, he came to the National Museum Tanzania. Now he owns a huge company. So from birds, you can add on the tourism type we talk about it. We're used to elephants, rhinos, buffaloes, giraffes. But you see most of the tour guides, the drivers, when they go out, in front of their vehicle, there's one for birds, one for mammals, one for reptiles. So we're coming up. Birds are going to live in the very, very big. But I've taken a bit of time to the class professor. Who is incurring the consumption cost? Madam, I think the answer is no. We have, there's no one person. It's a combined effort. I've done it. So clap for me. Yeah. And we have now 11 newsletters.
So just only one more and before I invite the next presenter.
Thank you, Professor. And thank you, Brother Samehe, for your very provoking discussion. What I wanted to contribute, actually, is that, the issue is mindset in the culture. Because the issue of conservation, the issue of poaching, trapping, are no longer problem of conservation. They are more complex than that. Because they are national security issues. If you go in our countries, I was in Uganda when they were forming their national task force. When we were discussing, sure that it is a complex. So if you try to take it as a technical problem, you miss a point. Why the actual professor here was asking why people are not present here who are supposed to be here. Because some of us, we still take it as a technical problem. But this is an adaptive problem, which means we have no answer. Nobody can say that I have the answer for what is happening. So it needs us to discuss together, because it's an adaptive problem, which the solution lies in different stakeholders. You may be able to have the answer on this particular angle, but you don't have this particular angle, so you must put all these angles together so that you get a holistic approach. So it's about changing your mindset, it's about changing culture to be of adaptive culture so that we can go to another 50 years with this well-left behind. Otherwise, if we don't adapt, we will not be able to reach there. So I think we'll be discussing, and on my presentation, I will show how change and the transformation is important. Without that, I can tell you, 10 years, 20 years, we're talking another story. We may not have what we have now. Thank you.
Asante sana Bwana Mwande, and for the interest of time.
Just a quick one that my
Yes.
African brothers worried that there's not only Tanaka in the room, there is.
Yes.
I saw you are very clever seeing us.
So, let's go ahead together for John Saleh. That is very good. But you know, somebody with this much experience, you expect to get good things from him. Chairperson of Tanzania, founding member of the Tanzania Association of Foresters, but also chairperson for community development in areas of that's better. Just now, next member is really Ako, who is the secretary of the election of Tanzania. And again, he is the executive secretary for Tanzania CAWM organization, Ako. And Mr. Cyril is going to talk about preparedness for wildlife conservation and tourism related to this. Karibu sana Ako. We are giving you some few minutes and 20 minutes, and then we'll do some discussion from there.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. Professor here. So, my name is Siri Ako. I work for Tanzania Association of Tour Operators. And because I have 20 minutes, I'm not going to take all the time. I'm going to. Okay. I'm coming from Tanzania Association of Operators, and it is a member-based organization. It's an organization which serves the interest of the safari operators mainly. So it's the companies who are subscribing as the members. Of course, we have a lot of other members, but the key are safari companies. It's 40 years old organization. And that means Tanzania being a former socialist in private sector organization, it has also gone through some evolution, through some changes, through some stages. Therefore, in the first of the world, what is Tanzania famous for when it comes to the policy? That's very good. Tanzania is a nature-based tourism destination. Because my topic has to do with the preparedness for wildlife conservation and the tourism related. That means our livelihoods are actually wildlife-based or nature-based. So, I'll be speaking between tourism and conservation. And the first part I need to raise or to put in spotlight is our industry is foreign dependent in the context of most of the tourists who are coming to visit our natural attractions are actually international local tourists. That means we are not generating enough resources from within to manage and run our own resources over there. So if you look at the numbers, the top source markets out of Africa, we are actually the US, the France. For those who are following this interesting as well, for the last 10 years, the French number of tourists in this country has been exponentially increasing. It's unbelievable. Something is happening somewhere. The second largest market is also Germany, Italy, and Poland. Total of those 5 countries actually constitute 23% roughly of the number of tourists coming to this country. So, because I'm talking of the risk, means anything happens to those 2 countries, then you assume or imagine how much we are losing out. That's my first risk element of finance. Okay, the recent test of our preparedness for the risk for wildlife conservation was actually COVID. And it came into it was a which were very busy with endless promotions. There were no cars there for nature and space to rejuvenate. So, we are most hard-hit sector globally than any other sector by the COVID. And we, Tanzania, particularly because we are nature-based tourism and mainly foreign dependent. So there's some numbers there. Cessation of the tourism activities due to pandemic, economic activities contracted sharply, and a lot of course it comes with a lot of other impacts, including job losses, hotels were closed, they are able to pay bank loans, etc. Of course, our economy shrink for 2%. That's what the World Bank had to say. Also, GDP, financial securities as well, we have some issues there. And I put the picture of my chairman there, the picture of previous scenario, because before I continue, I will also talk a little bit about how, as a private sector, we responded and how we are now trying to prepare for engage other people. So, the key thing is, on COVID times, we have no enough revenues. That means the absence of revenues means stress to support the resources which we are supporting our own very conservation initiatives. And of course, some measures in place. Before I read these measures which we put in place or which we are in place, the key important issue is, for the first time, we realize that we collectively are not prepared for the risks of that high level. I will give an example. By the labor laws in this country, if you need to sit down with your employer as a company and agree that because we have no revenues, we agree that you're officially off until such time you have the revenues. Laws don't recognize that. So a lot of companies had a lot of legal implications because the laws, if you need, everyone is in agreement that is something we don't control, but laws will not support it. So what happened now? What's the implication now? As the reaction now, most of the companies, I'm not saying all, are giving now 1 year contract to employees. Even if I know I'm employed, is permanent pension of employment, but in the papers I get 1 year. That means I can no longer plan, I can't go to the bank and get a loan, I can't plan for my own. Why? Because our labor laws are not supporting the industry. I'm just giving you that as one example on how we are not paid. Coming to the financial institutions, it's the same. The banks cannot negotiate or cannot restructure your loans until they get specific directives from central bank. So that means your bank manager can see your account, that there is no money flowing into your account, and he will still issue the demand letter that please reset your loan. And also, of course, as part of some measures to improve now, I've advised that there, creating efficient, reliable, and transparent business development. Of course, this is the key role of our organization. Our job is to make sure that we support our members not only to do business, but also to advise the government, partners, and public at large on why it's important to have the easiest, smooth working business development in this country. Because it has a huge multiplier impact to our economy. Of course, improving the tourism information management systems. Here specifically, because we understand decisions are made based on information. So we need to have a proper information from the data to its analysis, to its interpretation, then we hope things will run smoothly. Financial supports, I will ask, we know on COVID time, our country received substantial amount of money from multinational partners to support the tourism, or support the COVID related impacts. That is to make sure the country is resilient. But is anyone aware that there is a check which went to single company we've seen in other countries and part of the world that some huge companies with large taxpayers have been subsidized at least to survive. So that means for our destination to prepare itself for nature-related or risks, we need to be part of the equation. Not only at the time when we're generating revenue, also at the time when we're generating losses. Of course, strengthening adherence to health and safety protocols and data transparency. I think our government supported us a lot. We're very happy to work that there was a very smooth and swift response on this, of which, of course, we didn't work on table empty-handed. We put some ambulances at the time. We also trained some health officials, and we kept on supporting to the best of our capacity. So also we pushed vaccinations, we advised at the point. At least this was the convergence point for all of us. Yes, and supporting nature-based landscape system management through development of investments and partnerships, co-investments and partnerships. If you look at this now, we see now there are some private companies which starts to manage some landscapes. And I think it's no harm for us to think of trying one. It's no harm. Let's put it not national park. This one that we will give it to private sector and see from revenue, see from infrastructure development, look at the investments, and see how it's managed, and then calculate per square kilometer how much dollars are generated by year. Yes, taxes, fees, etc. This has been part of the discussions. I don't really want to dwell in this, but the message here is our laws are not that timely flexible. It takes a while to get some things adjusted. That means that time. I'll give you an example. On COVID time, I remember we closed later, as Tanzania, we closed our destination later. And there was one investor from the Netherlands, from the internet site, and then he wanted to invest. I said, when your country will open, I'll be the first client to be there immediately. You want to see what they do. So if you recall, Uganda opened, I think 10 days ahead of us, when it opened the country for COVID. The Dutch people went straight to Uganda. They invested. Of course, I kept on advising them, finally today in Tanzania, they also invested. So the message I'm bringing here is, in this risk-related or wildlife conservation, time is of essence. In everything we do, we need to consider time and the better interest of everyone. Okay. Tanzania tourism, okay. I will speak of a few things now again on what we need as well. So, on COVID times, also we realized, I'm specifically focusing on COVID because that is the test, as I mentioned, as an example. As a association of tour operators, we realized that the private operators can no longer travel to international markets to do marketing. Therefore, we need several initiatives. Number one, we actually approached United Nations World Tourism Organization, of which we are now the members. Of course, at that time we are not. We are now affiliated members of the platform. Through support of UNDP, that we need them to support the private sector to have digital access to international markets so that people don't lose their international contacts. So we had a great support, and we had our members being trained, and finally some experts have been sent down to Tanzania to do the great training, and it was very beneficial. Also, at the moment, yesterday we just finalized one document. It's called Integrated Tourism and Local Economic Development Strategy. So finally, we realized that if companies, hotels, lodges are sourcing their supplies from far away, then we are not properly contributing to the welfare of the community and to the conservation. Therefore, we are now finalizing to have the proper guidance document, the strategy, which is supported by UNDP and is under guidance of UNWTO, to see how our industry can work with local suppliers, at least for the produce which we can source locally, and start to see how we can also build the capacity of the locals. Because the issue is seasonalities, the issue is consistency in supply, the issue is quality, the issue is compliance. You have someone who wants to supply, I'll give an example, somewhere in Karatu, Basha, there was a hotel which was collecting milk from local neighbor. And then TRI will demand compliance, and then some OSHA people say, oh, if you eat this material, you eat this way, and finally that company was unable to continue collecting and supplying. So our own regulations are not preparing us to support or to be ready for any risk. Okay, so risks also takes us to the next level. After seeing COVID, then we start to look outward. We forgot that we have to keep on complaining about taxes and other issues. We start to go international. So we start to go to the WTO, we start to go to the international markets, and now as Tango, we are fully engaged and more external focus now. It's like we change the strategy. Okay, there's training of digitalizations and the digital marketing and communication. I spoke of this already. This is Professor Evan. For those of you who know him, he's a very famous professor in this ICT world. He came down from Moshi to train Argumentos. Also, yes, we know there is also Regrow. Of course, it's part of the big, we are grateful for the Regrow project. It means a lot to look into other big circuits in a big way, like some of the circuits. The areas, some areas in this country, it's either the government or the big multinational who can assist us, because the demand for infrastructural support is so huge. So we are grateful for this Regrow project. Also, there's the Southwest Indian Ocean Fisheries Governance Project. The best thing here is also, at the moment, when you look at our structure, we are more focused in wildlife, but we also have huge marine parks in this country. So, I think it's high time we start putting focus on that as well, because that's also globally highly demanded tourism products. It's just proper marketing we need to do, and we need to integrate it if possible to the Ministry of Natural Resources systems. Okay, so this is our minister. We met somewhere in Uzbekistan and we were discussing our home issues there. Okay, so because I have 20 minutes, I end up by providing a very good preliminary picture. I'm not saying that we're going for break, but I'm saying that also food and gastronomy is a very important part of our tourism, and therefore we also need to develop it. As much as we know that when we are in recent times or we are not prepared, people still need to eat. Therefore, we still can keep gastronomy tourism. Thank you very much indeed, and I'm open to questions.
Asante sana Siri for very good keynote address. Whenever they say it's important to partner in preparing for this list. So, then quick reactions in this aspect of you and then I go to Professor Nyahong.
Thank you. Mine is what are you doing about inclusive tourism? Because common must also be part of it, so the revenues that accrue as a result of staying near resources also are strong.
I thank you, Professor Sri. Your talk was interesting from the beginning. You told us how many races, people from the world are coming to this nice country. Because Serengeti is there and everything for us. We didn't invest in the first place for these animals coming in Tanzania. And they better trade now European for distributing this continent into small, Uganda being even small country. And we see, every time we are coming, and I've read a lot of documents showing us people who are coming to this country, satisfaction. I think we contributed sometimes back, writing about how are you satisfied. These documents are kept in the offices. If I could ask a question to Tanzania, to Tawil, to Tawa, to Ngorongoro Conservation Area Authority, how many MS and master students and the PhD have you sponsored and engaged to the University of Dodoma to help you understanding the culture of these Italians, those Germans, those people who are saying coming in this? Why are they coming here? Do we have beautiful young ladies attracting them also as well? Do we have nice hotels? Do we have handsome men like this guy here? So, these are issues that we actually wanted conservation institutions to be here so that we come and have a common understanding that if anything changed in terms of culture or whatever makes them come here, for sure we are going to lose them. So it's not a question. I'm just still challenging the conservation authorities to be able to be clever enough, because this place is very nice for them. If I was the director of research in Tawil, for instance, I would be here, and I would be busy writing down the challenges and then going back to my office, making them a priority agenda. Do they have agenda? From the conferences that we are making after every 3 years, do you at Mweka have agenda, research agenda? Coming from symposiums and the workshops and the conferences, do you have students that are following your agenda? Thank you.
Thanks, this is really about respond to the two reactions from Professor Kiran and Professor
Thank you very much. Professor Professor Amu, Professor Probusiri. So, thank you very much for inclusive tourism. Actually, part of is private sector main player. So that means private sector is profit player. And means also anywhere where there is likelihood of making profit, also ever small, will be there. That's for sure. The only thing is, will they be capital members or will they be privately managed entities? That's another thing. But the question is inclusivity. Yes, we are looking into supply chains. We are looking into value chains. That's why you see now we went next level, involving UNWTO to give us technical support to see how we can work together to include the communities surrounding the areas, to be part of the economic process, not only part of the conservation. We are looking into supply now. We are looking into procurement, sourcing from the community, into how we can support them to get compliance. How can they comply? How can they issue electronic fiscal device when you give them a check? So we are now going to that level. So we'll be there soon. And we have examples which are very successful, and we can talk about that. But we have done some pilot, then we have started to scale that. Another thing, Professor, you asked for sponsorships. I can assure you, I don't want to give you the numbers, but one of the industry which is very generous, not only from the tourist point of view, is our industry. We have a lot of people who have been sponsored by the tourism industry. I don't want to even ask you this because they are 91 or to work by the tourism companies.
Can you give me what business card?
That's your charge. Yeah. So our industry is private sector driven, hospitality based, and is actually people centered industry. So thank you very much indeed, and congratulations, Mweka, on this very important 6 years anniversary. Very happy and proud to form a part of the board member, part of the board. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cyril, for very responsive reactions. We might have some more reactions to this, and we will allow that one coming back from the event. So I want to request join us in the tea break, where I get coffee, some issues with gastronomy. And then, when you're coming here, before we embark on the third keynote presentation, we have at least 5 minutes for the rest of the events here. Afadhali, karibu sana kwa
Thank you.